This is not really the video I expected to be making right now. And we're in a weird place. So if you're just getting caught up, we had some bad shifting, right? It was kind of rough shifting. Fourth gear would like hold too long. It was an over temp code, and so they changed the valve body. And I tested it. I said it's actually made it worse. I don't know how, but it made it worse. And then they go ahead and they open her up, and that was a whole struggle. You could watch some recent videos. Open her up, they find out, oh, there's a ton of shavings in here. And they're like, no worries, we'll go ahead and replace the entire transmission, because apparently 2C, 4C, they had eaten up the transmission housing. So that wasn't a whole lot of good. We get the transmission back, and it's still shifting poorly in 4 to 5 and 4, and so, you know, 4 to 3, and it's a hard shift there, but 2 to 3, way better. Don't even feel anymore. Yeah. 3 to 4, generally pretty good. 5 to 6, there's no, I mean, you don't even feel that shift. Yeah. But first gear, we noticed after the initial drive, where we're like, okay, it's pretty good, but like, let's bring it back in because, you know, the fourth gear is holding a little too long. Then we noticed first gear is now whining, vibrating, and then what do we see? We saw it go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 on its own. Yeah. And so actually, here's a little video of what it sounds like now in first gear when it's locked in first gear, especially, but not always now, we're finding.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
Yeah, so here's first. No whining, but watch this. So 8 miles an hour, first gear is what's selected there. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop. There's the whine. Very strange. So that brings us to today, and we're finding ourselves, we're doing a bunch of stuff, which is fine. So your dad is looking for a Jeep, and we're we're trying to wheel and deal on that, and we said, hey, what can we do on a new Ram? You know, let's get that 8-speed. It's supposed to be more reliable than the 68 RFE. Yeah. And we're $30,000 away on that, and that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna pay $30,000 for something that should already work here. And so we're like, we're not on that, but you know, we're talking with customer care with Ram and like, hey, is there something we could do? And maybe there is. Maybe there's a little bit more of a discount we can get there. You know, so maybe that'll change. And it's one of those things that like, we have been told that we're doing too much with this truck for this specific transmission. They're susceptible to overheating because the clutch packs, it's very thin metal. It's not thicker metal, can't dissipate the heat the same.
But where I find that frustrating is that this is a heavy duty truck. This truck should have no issue doing what we're doing with it. Like we are not overworking this truck per its capacity. Like it shouldn't be a problem.
No, we're within payload, we're within tow. So actually this brings me to the next point. So when we created our point, we said, dude, this is bad. We're gonna have to get a rental. We're gonna have to do all this because I don't wanna drive this. We have a 1,500 or so mile trip there and back into Canada. Yeah. It'll be about 30 days. We're looking at rentals. We're like, this is gonna be too expensive. Ram goes, no, we'll cover that. Don't worry. You're just gonna have to pay for it first, and then we'll only cover while the truck is in the shop.
It's while it's in the shop, and it's only up to $60 a day.
Yeah, which doesn't cover a pickup for this. And if you, depending on it, you have to spend more if you're buying a truck that can tow, otherwise it can't tow and you can't take it into Canada, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, so, you have to run through Enterprise, like you can't just run anywhere, like it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But whatever. So, but they go, hey, you know what? Why don't we take you on a test drive with our service manager? Maybe there's something simpler. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, more eyes on it never hurts. I bring the truck over. Brian hops in. He's the service manager there, and he's a nice guy, a real nice guy. But you know, he goes, yeah, let's listen to what are we listening for and all that. And I quickly replicate gear 1 issue. And then he goes, well, that could be normal. And I'm like, oh, no. And again, you guys just heard it. I don't think it's normal. No,
definitely. It definitely does not sound normal. It does not sound the same as our truck sounded in first gear before when we didn't have an issue with it.
Or our other 268 RVs.
Or our other 2 trucks, yeah.
Yes. And nor if any vehicle sounded like this. This is a big deal. But he, you know, and then he heard felt the flare, heard the flare from like 4 to 2 when it drops or you know, whatever. And when fourth gear holds too long. You know, he's feeling that, but he goes, that might be normal. He goes, that one also might be normal. And he was less concerned, but I'm like, no, first gear. And I explained the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 shift on its own. It was doing it was locked in first gear, but going to second. And he's like, yeah, it shouldn't do that. I'm like, you'd think it's speed limit, right? And he goes, yeah, it should speed limit and then not allow you to, right? Like rev limit as well. So anyways, that was odd. He goes, honestly though, I would take it to Canada, come back in a month. You know, we'll check it out then. He goes, I don't see anything right now that's concerning. I find myself frustrated because it kind of feels like gaslighting.
It does, especially because like the first time we were told it's not a problem, we can't replicate it.
That was like 5 times we'd been in.
Yeah. And we went in multiple times, and we basically were gaslit hard to tell us that we were crazy. It was in our heads. Like, this was not an issue, and then we needed a full transmission replacement. So now it feels like we're getting gaslit again. So,
and I know, guys, I'm telling you, we have no incentive at all whatsoever to literally be grounded for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
And without our truck and without our solar and all this, and with limited water resources. And he actually was really funny. He goes, did nobody offer you an extension cable? And I was like, I guess that would have been nice, you know, but we didn't really need it, but whatever. But he complimented our setup. He goes, this is a nice setup, I like it. But yeah, no, I find myself in a really weird position where I can't force somebody to say, yes, I hear and see your issue. But at the same time, like, I don't like being gaslit.
So we're gonna hope that this holds out for us for the next month.
Yes.
And a little bit more, so we can go and do what we need to do in Canada.
Yep.
And come back.
Well, so here, and this was the key, right? Is we don't want to be in the middle of Canada. You know, we've already got a case open, and we don't want to be driving. It breaks down, and then it was our fault because we should have known.
Right.
So we do have paperwork now that says we went out. It's okay to drive. They said in the paperwork it says that we hear some whining, but it could be normal. We don't know. I honestly think they just want to get rid of this. I get it.
Try really hard not to be nuisances.
No, we just ask questions. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I will say, other than our we've got a lot of concerns, but other than those concerns, in the grand scheme of things, they've been pretty cool with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that being said, yeah, we're still gonna take it with us. We're gonna hope it doesn't break down, and if it does break down, we're gonna have some more words for Ram, and we are going to go ahead and push harder. And I don't think we're at the point where we're more, let's call it 1.5 major repairs here.
Yeah.
This is going to, I'm 100% convinced this is going to need a new transmission.
Yeah.
And it's not a new transmission, this is a remanufactured transmission.
Which is annoying.
I thought it was all new. It didn't include the torque converter. So, that being said.
It did?
Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, it's all one part. So, that being said, yeah. It's a little frustrating, but all we can do is say, you know what, whatever. I guess it'll make for good video if something happens in Canada. I don't even know. But we are gonna also push for like, hey, maybe we can come a lot closer on that $30,000 and get us into that 8-speed torque flight, because I had asked, are we pushing this truck too hard? And ChatGPT says, absolutely, you're in severe duty. This dude goes, dude, no, not even close. He goes, this truck can more than handle that.
Yeah.
So, and he said he has a bunch of trucks, and you know, yeah, I'm finding myself frustrated, but what else are you gonna do? It's documented. My concern is documented separately from their findings. He did at least admit, yeah, there's a whine, you know, a little bit. And we're covered for warranty, so whatever. But
and so we'll give it the 500-mile relearn period.
Yeah, they actually mentioned that. That's not a factor here at all, in the slightest. Whining does not happen for the first 500 and go away. And then he goes, it could be the bad shift points are just something that need to be relearned. But if history has taught us anything, it's actually that this issue will only get worse.
Yep. So
whatever. Let's go ahead and we're gonna hook up, get the rig ready, and I don't know where we're gonna go, but we need to go find a storage unit.
Yes, I did find one at one point. We probably need to pick up a lock so we can lock it.
We've got some things that can't go into Canada.
Yeah.
Let's go. 52-ton turbine runner is one of 11 runners replaced in 90 to increase generator efficiency at Chief Joseph Dam. Wow, that is really cool. Yeah, you can see flow of water, moves the turbine, creates the thingy, does makes power. Okay.
And this looks like the small part on one of these sides.
Yeah, that thing is, yeah, look at the perspective of like Emma next to this. Isn't that crazy? Oh, wow. Feels a little warmer out here, doesn't it?
A little bit. Air's a little drier.
Yeah, a little more dry. That's kind of nice. So we are in Eastern Washington at the Chief Joseph Dam. We're at the rest area here. And we'll stay here overnight and then we'll continue on. We need to get a storage unit. Yeah, I think we'll be a little early, which will be I would much rather be a day early than a day late, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I think that we're still like 3 hours from crossing the border into Canada, and then we have another like 3.5 hours once we cross the border.
Yeah,
so
in a regular vehicle, towing, I tow a little lighter. We were just talking about this, I'm really like a gentle driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive pretty soft. I don't gun it. Part of it is that I'm driving a big old pickup. You feel the weight and yeah, I just don't feel the need to speed that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anywho, but what a pretty sunset out here, right? There's us, flat as we can get. It's a nice rest area.
Yeah. It's an Army or
Corps of Engineers.
Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
Rest area. So we found this one on I.O. Berlander as a spot you can stay.
Not bad at all. So we did make the deal for Emma's dad there with the Jeep and all that. And I think he got a pretty good deal and I don't think they're losing any money.
No.
You know, which whatever.
They say they are, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it all evens out. What a beautiful tree. Gosh, what a nice tree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go back and forth, like the transmission isn't right. There's no doubt about it.
On our truck.
On our truck, yeah. And I was hoping that like we could find ourselves a better deal. Aren't you guys supposed to be in Mexico or something? Canada
I think
or something?
they're coming back now.
Coming back, is that what that is?
Coming back to Canada.
It's still rough, you know, and it's intermittent. Yeah, I don't even say intermittent, but like it shows.
It's pretty consistent.
This one is, yeah. But then they say, oh, they're all like this. They are not all like this. If you guys own a Ram with the 68 RFE transmission, let us know. Leave a comment with your guys' experience. Because I don't think this ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not it. I'm finding myself frustrated. I was hoping we could wheel and deal a little more and you know, maybe that's just not how it works, but I do love that at least we can take our truck out to get these views.
Yeah.
And there's that dam over there.
Oh, hot damn.
Back to the Ram. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm finding myself frustrated, but at the same time, kind of relieved that we don't have to get a rental. We were looking at a rental today and
yeah.
What we're over like $2,000 for 30 days.
A lot, yeah.
Because and there was something weird where like my mom works for a rental car agency, but to get a discount, it would only be for 2 weeks and then you couldn't take it out of country.
Right.
So.
Which negates both of the things we need.
We couldn't come back in 2 weeks. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, in this case, it's like, yeah, if it breaks down, whatever. Like I'm trying to see that. And yeah, it's rough. It's just like, I'm finding myself frustrated still. I guess I'm just trying to identify exactly what it is. It's that like, we kind of spent a long time there. I'd say like 12, 13 days, whatever it was.
13 days, yeah.
13? For it to now have a new problem, you know, but we're also looking at like, what else can we do? How can we work this, you know, work this out where we just need something that's reliable, that can handle the job.
That we feel confident with.
And I suspect we need to figure that part out. So, you know, on paper, we stick with this truck, and then I just feel like based on our usage patterns and our history with this truck, we're gonna end up with another rebuild, maybe right outside of warranty. With this thing, I don't even know that we'll make it 30,000 miles.
We'll see.
But yeah, I don't know. So, or, you know, we're looking at like what are our options to get more truck than we need, in the sense of like payload and maybe a longer bed. And how do we minimize that impact? Because like we talked about this the other day, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, we're not paying a $30,000. We can't afford that. You know, who the hell can? So yeah, I don't know. We'll keep working on that. And you know, we did. I think as of today, we've kind of got it below 22. Still too much.
Way too much.
Still too much. So yeah, we got to figure that out. And I don't know. I think there's an opportunity though for Ram to step up here. You know what I mean? Where
we shouldn't have to be paying for this out of pocket.
and here's the thing: if it just suddenly one day went into limp mode, took it in, replaced it, and we're up and running, not an issue at all to me. It's the fact that it's been like since very early on, before 1,000 miles. I don't know. An issue after issue after issue, getting worse and worse and worse. Nobody can replicate it. Now it's a full and then it's the replacement is, you know what I mean? And then they're stressed about like, is this even going to be covered under warranty? Which isn't really Ram's, you know, Stellantis or Ram's fault. I don't know. I feel like I'm droning on about this, but it's just, this is kind of what we're dealing with right now. And you know, we look at the Fords. We've looked at you know, GM products. And it's funny, I was talking to Gypsy about this. She loves GM products. She's like, yeah, I love GM trucks. I won't touch them. I will not touch them.
No.
We've never had a good experience. No, and whatever, you know, but.
We like Ram trucks.
I'm wondering though, because everybody has their flavor, right? Is there a type of person where those products last better for?
I'm sure there probably is.
Like we all, like people's like, or your energy works with a particular vehicle? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Well, but I think, yeah, Ram's it for us. And I don't know, is there an opportunity for them to be the hero? Because we're just in the beginning stages of talking to them about all this and how kind of crazy this is. So they haven't made any decisions on anything. So,
right.
You know, who knows? Yeah, this is cool. Pretty area out here. Looks like whatever there must be some water exhaust that way. Some like a treatment plant of some sort, or
maybe.
We'll keep you guys updated because this is far from over, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so if you're new to the channel, fun fact, this is a daily vlog with occasional like specific subject videos. This is just real life. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, hey, we're back on the road, so whatever. Although the weird part, right? They said there was that much damage, and the truck was riding as well as it was. But they were like, whoa, it was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage, and yikes.
Should it have been driving that way? I don't know. But,
well, and it didn't really throw an error code, like we didn't get like a check engine light or anything.
Nope.
There was one overheat code that we didn't see.
And only one. Yeah, that's kind of whatever.
So
I don't know. Well, anyways, guys, we are going to finish our walk here, enjoy the night, maybe grab a small, you know, snack or something like that. But otherwise, we'll see you in the morning, continuing on down the road.
bye, guys.
Bye.